Hello everyone, hope you are doing good. Welcome to the next video. My name is Saurabh Bharati, Microsoft Dynamics 365 professional. This is my YouTube channel where I come and share my knowledge and experience with you all. So today we are going to talk about a next topic in my video series, and this topic is around cross company data sharing feature which we have in Microsoft Dynamics 365. So we are going to talk about that, how we can utilize this, what are the limitations and the consideration which we should have. Okay, so without further delay, let's start today's topic. So if I talk about what is cross company data sharing, so the cross company data sharing lets you replicate, share references and the group data among different companies, the different legal entities, and data integrity is verified before the replication occurs from the data perspective to all the legal entities. Few examples, if I take, you might have a requirement where you have, let's say, 10 or 15 legal entities in the project, and customer asks you to have the centralized customer master data. Okay, customer may ask you to have a centralized vendor master data. Apart from that, there are some small data set references which are like terms of payments, payment day, payment, the delivery terms, right? So you want to maintain a similar or the same data across all the legal entities, right? So if you have such requirements, then that will come under your cross company data sharing, and you can fulfill using this particular feature in Microsoft Dynamics 365. Let's move to the next one. So how it works in Dynamics. So Microsoft Dynamics allows you to create the policies around what tables and what data needs to be shared across what legal entities. Okay, so you have a control about that, what you want to share across all the legal entities. If you do not know, and if you want to download a ready to use data packages from Microsoft LCS site, you can do that. There are certain LCS packages across the finance and the supply chains are available, so you can use them and then you can create your policies around that. Okay, it also allows you, so it in the policy you define that what table you want to share across all the legal entities, but it also allows you to control that within that table, if there are certain fields which you do not want to share across all the legal entity and you want to maintain them as a legal entity specific, so you can disable them as well. Okay, the good part about this is the moment the record is created in one legal entity, right, or updated in one legal entity or deleted in one legal entity, it is replicated immediately across all the legal entities which are defined as part of that policy which we have in the system. Okay, you also have an option here which allows you to, let's say if you are enabling this policy in between of your the operational year, like, or you have gone live but you have not been using this feature. So if you want to enable this policy, and then if you want to copy the existing database which you have across all those tables which you have selected, then you have an option of copying that existing records and copy across all the selected legal entities. Okay, so it also comes with certain limitations, so we need to understand what are the limitations which we have. So it can't be used to share the transactional data between companies. So the transactional data is very company specific, the legal entity is specific. Okay, it is used only reference and the group data can be shared, or the tables that can that have specifically been enabled for data sharing, right? So it duplicates the data, it does not hold the single record, it duplicates the data. Okay, and it has a limitation on the number of records. So if your share the data which you are sharing across all the legal entity, right, it should that you can share up to 2 million records. Okay, and you can share up to 300 legal entities. So if you have your project which is more than 300 legal entities, then this might be the limitation for you. Okay, and there are certain other limitations, like financial dimension reference is there, right? So if you have the customer and vendor master data, right, where you have the default financial dimensions to be defined, so that cannot be shared across all the legal entities, so you need to manage them at a company level, at a legal entity level. If you have the dual right enabled in your system, so you can't use this feature in D365. So before you enable, right, before you have a consideration about these things, this feature to be used, please have a look at the limitations what you have. These are available on the Microsoft Doc side, so you can just quickly check before you decide on the use. The next one which we have is about the considerations, that if I am going to use this, then what are the considerations which I should have, what are the things which I should keep in mind. So there are a couple of them. So first thing is that you should have a sharing policy which has the reference to the company's chart of account, right? You should have a legal entity, the number sequence which you are going to use for those shared data should be similar and same across all the legal entities. For example, if you have the customer master data, if you are going to share, then the customer number sequence should be defined. Say, I mean the same customer account number should be, the number sequence should be defined across all the legal entities, right? So there are certain considerations which you need to give it before you start using this. Okay. Now, in Microsoft Dynamics 365, so what I have been talking till now is called as duplicate record sharing. But in Microsoft Dynamics 365, you have got a new feature which is, I think right now it is in a preview, and which is also called as master company sharing or a single record sharing. So which means now you have two concepts in Microsoft Dynamics 365 for sharing the data across different legal entity. So one is the duplicate record sharing, which we call it as DRS, and then you have master company sharing, and also known as single record sharing, SRS. Okay, so what is the difference in what are these two different concepts which we have? So the DRS is a concept where creating, updating, or deleting of the records in for any company in the policies is copied and replicated across companies in the policies. So it copies the similar data in all the tables of all the related tables or in all the legal entities. Okay, so it is replicated. Okay, and this is the first feature which was available, which was made available in D365. But later on, right now it is in a preview stage. You have also got SRS. So it is a concept where a single physical record belonging to a master company is virtually shared across all the child company or all the sharing legal entities. So the create, update, or delete in any company in the policy will update the one single record. It does not have the duplicate records across all the legal entities. So that is the basic difference between the DRS and SRS. Okay. Now, if you have to compare that what is allowed in DRS, what is allowed in SRS, so these are the certain comparisons which you have, like if can the tables or the fields or companies to be removed after the policy is been enabled or updated. So DRS allows you to do that, but once you enable in the SRS, you won't be able to. Can the policy be disabled? No, in case of SRS. So what it shows that if before you use the SRS, right, you have to make sure that do you really need that that functionality or that feature, or the DRS will suffice your requirement. So we need to make a decision around that. If you see that there are certain things, like if you have, let's say, a limitation that your company is going to have more than 2 million records across all the legal entity, then I think then SRS is the right approach for you, or right feature for you, or if you have more than 300 legal entities, so then SRS has got no limitation around the legal entities, right? So this is what you need to consider before you make any decisions, right, around this, like which features to be used. Okay, so this was around like what cross company data sharing is, what it offers, right? What are the limitations, what are the considerations you should make. Now let's see like how we can utilize this in D365, how it works. So I'm going to take one example around the customer, and we are going to share the customers table and see that whether it is reflecting across all the companies or not. So now I have moved to the Microsoft Dynamics 365. So on my screen, what you can see is that we are into the feature management. And in the feature management, if you see, there are two features which are available. So one is the customer and vendor data sharing, which was, so earlier what happened, the DRS did not have the customer and vendor tables available for the policies, but it has been made later on. So we are going to take this as an example. And then you see that master company data sharing is in preview stage right now. So we are not enabling this. So we'll see in the future like how it can be utilized. So for now, let's explore this particular policy. Okay. Now for that, what I need to do, I'll navigate to the, let's go to the system admin. Okay. And under the system admin, if I expand the setup part, right? So I have got the configure cross company data sharing. Okay. So I'll click here. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create my new policy where let's say I want to have the customer master data to be shared across all the legal entities. So I'm going to create that. I have given the name for that. Now here I need to select the table. So let's say along with the customer, right? I also want to enable for the customer group. So I will select the cust group table. So let's say this is my cust group table. I will add this. And I'm also going to, okay, before I add the customer master, right? If you see, I have enabled the customer group, but if you see, it has not enabled the fields under this table, which is the write off and the default dimensions, right? Now these fields can't be shared across legal entities, and that is why system has kept them disabled this. So this we need to maintain manually in all the legal entities. Apart from that, if you also see, one of the thing is that wherever the customer group is used, or on the customer group, let's say if you go to the customer group, you have default payment terms to be defined. So wherever this is available, wherever you have a dependent table, this has also enabled those. So it has enabled the payment term ID table as well, so that you can utilize that table along with the customer group. So that will be the prerequisites for you, right? Now if I can enable a cust table, so let's select the cust table and click on the add table here. So now this has added both the tables now. Now the next thing which I need to do here is that I need to add the companies. So let's say I'm going to enable this policy for USMF, plus let's say I'm going to do this for USSI. Okay, so let's say these are the two companies where I want to share. So you can add all the legal entity where you want to do this, and like it is like up to the 300 legal entities which you can add it here, right? Once this is done, now you need to enable the policy here. So you click on the enable here. So it is saying it is recommended to only perform this action into non-business hours, right? So any concurrent transaction operation will fail. So you need to take the decision that at what time you are going to enable this, right? So I'll say yes right now because I want to. Now it is, see, like if you remember, like we were talking about the consideration that it should have the similar number sequence set up there. Now it is telling like if you enable this policy, you have got the conflict here. Okay, so system is intelligent enough to tell us all the conflicts as well. So now I'm going to say this, you use this number sequence. Okay, oops, so we have the errors. So let me try to resolve this number sequence error, and then I will enable. So I'm going to pause the video for a moment. Okay, so looks like there was some issue, some conflict in USSI. I tried to resolve that, but what I did is now I removed the USSI, and then I am going to use the GPSI for that. And when I go and click on the enable policy, it is asking me next thing like there are customer masters which exist in both the companies, right? So once we enable this, do you want to copy the existing customer master across all the companies? If you want to do that, you can say yes, but let's say right now I'm not going to copy anything, so I'll say no. Okay, so now my policy is enabled. Now what I'm going to do is that let's create a new customer in, or first let's create the customer group in both the in one company, and let's say like if that gets created in another company. So I'm going to change the legal entity to USMF here, and I'm going to change the legal entity here as a GPSI. Okay, so this is my two legal entities. Go here, and let's say I want to create a number sequence, or sorry, the customer group, not here, in this legal entity, and I go here and create the navigate to the number customer groups here. So now this is the situation right now. So these are the number sequences. So let's say I create a new number sequence here and give the name as 110. Let's say shared group, and let's say if I select net 30 or something here. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Now once I save this, I should go to the customer group here and see. So now if you see that immediately the record which I created in the USMF is available in GPSI. Now let's do one thing. I'm going to create a new customer in GPSI, and let's say if that customer is available in USMF. Okay, so I'm going to create the customer here. So let's say click new, and I'm going to create a new customer. Let's say I give my name here itself. The organization is Saurabh. In the customer group, let's say if you want to use, we will use the new one which we created, and then I just save it. Okay, and let's see if I can filter the customer here with my name. Now if you see, I am in USMF, I created the customer in GPSI, it is immediately available here. Okay, now let's try to perform a delete action. So or let's say if now I want to update the address in this company, and I want to see like whether the address gets updated in this legal entity or not. Okay, so now I go here and do the address update, and I'm going to give some address here. Let's say test. Okay, so I have the address here. Now let's say in this customer, if I have the address refreshed, so you see immediately the address is also available in another legal entity. Now let's say now I go to the customer groups, let's say here, and let's perform a delete action. So I go to the customer group here, and I go to the customer groups here, and let's see which one is so let's say the 10th customer is available here, and or maybe let's say the this customer which we want to delete, right? So hope there is no dependent customer. Oh, there is a dependent customer. So let's create one new group here, test, which is now should be available in USMF. Yes. Okay, so now let's say if I delete here, so it's deleted. Now it should be deleted here as well, right? So what we can see, like Once you enable this policy, you can create the data across all the legal entity. You can update the data across all the legal entity. You can delete the data across all the legal entity. Now let's go to the policy and let's see what else is there. So you have the option of update here. So if you want to, let's say, update something here, you can update, you can revert this, you can disable the policies, right? So this is how you can manage your cross company data sharing in D365 finance and operations. Hope this is going to help you in planning for your for your data sharing requirements if you have got in any of your implementation. Okay, so that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoy my content, and if you do, I request you to like, share and subscribe. Okay, so that concludes today's video. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one, and thank you for watching and take care.